Alright, so with the Eagles tasked with slowing down the lethal offensive trio of Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Andy Reid, what are Sean Desai and the Birds doing to fix their issues on defense and specifically in the secondary? Well, it certainly helps that one key member of the defense is making his return this week, and he says he's ready for the Chiefs. Meanwhile, Kevin Byard explained what makes it so tough to cover Travis Kelce, so how can the Birds slow him down? Also, Jalen Hurts finally gave a huge update on his knee injury after the bye, and it should get fans really excited. Plus, Jalen Hurts also received some tremendous praise from Andy Reid, and Big Red also showed love to some other key Eagles ahead of the matchup, which is shaping up to potentially be the best game of the year so far. So we're going to talk about all that and more news in this video today, so let's not waste any time and get straight into it. So Monday Night Showdown is shaping up to be extremely important for the Eagles, as with this gauntlet of the Birds schedule starting up, in which the Eagles face 5 straight teams with a record of 500 or better, and other NFC teams like the Detroit Lions nipping on their heels, it's going to be super important for the Eagles to start the second half of the season with a win. And they do have some very good news heading into the matchup, with some key players returning to practice, including right guard Cam Jurgens, who will officially make his return this week and should give a big boost to the run game. Safety Justin Evans is also back, and although he's not a starter anymore, he should be able to come in certain spots on defense and make an impact, as well as being a contributor on special teams. And then potentially most importantly, the Eagles are getting a big boost to their secondary, with slot corner Roby being back as a full participant in practice, and he says he's ready to go for Monday, and he expects to make a big impact.
I think, man, I'm a gamer, man. I love football. I've always loved it. I love the big games, primetime games. Earlier in my career, I tore my hamstring in Houston, missed like 5 weeks, then played Tom Brady Sunday night, had 2 picks, so and a sack. You know what I'm saying? They called one of the picks back, but they didn't want Tom to look bad. But
I'm gonna count it.
Yeah, just staying locked in and just staying focused. I think it'll be good.
So Roby certainly sounds ready to go, as he sounds very confident, and maybe he'll be able to recreate that performance he referenced versus Brady and make some big plays in this game, so big thumbs up for Roby being back and ready. But the Birds defense certainly could use some big plays right now, especially coming from the secondary, because they've been pretty disappointing all season. I mean, they went from the best pass defense in the league last year to one of the worst this year, and there could be a lot of different reasons for this, whether it be injuries and less experienced guys being forced to play bigger roles, and in turn subpar communication and chemistry, or maybe it's the new scheme. But at the end of the day, the players just got to be better, as this article written by Ruben Frank highlights, as he said, quote, Slay and Bradberry rank 43rd and 82nd in defensive passer rating among 97 corners who've played at least 200 snaps. Among 99 safeties who've played 200 snaps, Blankenship ranks 41st, but Byard is 78th, including his time with the Titans. Overall, opposing QBs have a 99.4 passer rating when facing the Eagles, 4th highest in the league and 4th highest versus the Eagles all time through 9 games. Now that definitely does not sound good, but it hasn't been all bad, as both Slay and Blankenship have definitely had their moments to shine this year, with Reid in particular playing really well at times. And getting Roby back should definitely help, as in albeit a small sample size of just 55 snaps in 2 games, he was incredible, as he allowed just a 45.8 passer rating. And now with him back and the rest of the Birds' best 5 in the secondary all healthy, that should only help them get better. And once they start to play more together and they start to build that chemistry on the back end, I think that's when you'll start to see a lot of these issues getting ironed out. And Roby actually spoke about this on Thursday.
It'll take some time. We'll have to learn on the job. We're all experienced veterans, so we'll be able to kind of adapt fast. I think that's the biggest thing about playing in the league. You gotta learn how to adapt as the game goes on. So I think we'll do a good job, and we got guys that communicate well, so I don't think it'll be a problem.
Have you seen that communication improve?
Yes.
Yeah?
Definitely. Just in the film, on the practice field and walkthroughs and everything, I've seen it get better. So it's just progress.
So judging by what he said there, it sounds like things are already starting to improve in the secondary. And Eagles reporter John McMullen just thinks simply having vets like Roby and Byard back there is only going to help the pass defense improve.
I will say this. Roby and Byard, you can tell they know how to play. That alone is going to make them better, because nothing against Sidney Brown and Eli Ricks, but they're rookies who've never played the position before. Yeah. So they're kind of running around. There's communication issues. I don't know how much these guys have left in the tank, but I know they know how to play. And I think that alone is going to make the Eagles secondary a little bit better.
I definitely think that's a good point. I mean, having vets out there over the young guys definitely will help with things like communication and just having less execution errors, because like McMullen said, they know how to play. And just for this week specifically, the Eagles may be pretty lucky to have Kevin Byard, as of course they're facing one of the best tight ends in the history of the game in Travis Kelce, and slowing him down is definitely not easy, and Byard's probably going to be largely tasked with doing just that, so he recently spoke about the challenges of facing Kelce.
He's the best tight end, especially in our generation. I would think all generations. He's an elite route runner, very crafty, very savvy. You know, he doesn't look like he's the fastest guy, but he has deceptive speed, built to speed kind of guy. And, you know, it's kind of like backyard football a little bit. You know what I mean? He's gonna change his routes based upon what your leverage is, and you know he has so great rapport with Patrick Mahomes. It's gonna be a tough cover, and I don't care who you put on him, corner, safety, backer. He's just tough to cover, so it's just one of those deals where you just got to keep straining because, you know, his first route might be covered, but it's the second route that hurts everybody, and then he obviously is very good with the ball in his hands.
That guy's great.
No, listen, he's only a man. You can beat him.
Well, the evidence certainly suggests that even though Kelce's pretty impossible to stop, Byard's certainly one of the guys who's been the best at it throughout his career. I mean, even Kelce himself has admitted in the past that Byard is always a tough matchup for him, and Eagles defensive coordinator Sean Desai spoke to that in his Friday press conference.
You know, I would say when we were talking about bringing Kevin on, you know, we've looked at kind of all those matchups, and the Titans and him in particular have done a good job versus those guys over there, and they've had some effectiveness, and so he's done a good job in that matchup. Yeah, you know, I think he has a good mindset. I think he understands some of Travis's route stems, and at least off the tape, as I'm talking about, you know, and then, you know, he challenges him, and then they had some different looks too from a schematic standpoint that Tennessee had done that helped him win in those situations.
So hopefully Byard is able to bounce back from 2 rough performances, and he can help slow down Travis Kelce to some extent, even in front of Taylor Swift.
Shut up! Oh my God, I don't care!
Honestly, I really don't care either. I just wanted to make that joke. But that being said, the Eagles can't solely rely on Byard to slow down Kelce. It's going to have to be a team effort, as I'm sure the linebackers will be matched up against Kelce a fair amount as well. Now, luckily, even though, yes, it does suck to see Nakobe Dean get injured, I'm not saying that I'm happy he's hurt, and I really hope he has a speedy recovery and he eventually becomes a good player for this team. But with him being out right now, that may actually boost the Eagles' pass defense a bit, as Dean was a liability in coverage this year, ranking 70th out of 78 linebackers in coverage with at least 100 coverage snaps, while on the contrary, both the Eagles' other linebackers in Nicholas Morrow and Zach Cunningham ranked 12th and 17th respectively, so it may be possible that the Eagles at least see their coverage in the middle of the field improve a bit, and when either one of these guys get matched up on Kelce, hopefully they're at least able to hold their own a little bit, although honestly, I really don't see either of them being able to stick with Kelce consistently throughout the entire game. Which is why really, no matter who's covering Kelce, Sean Desai is going to have to get creative. I mean, to have any hope of stopping him and Patrick Mahomes, the Eagles have to try and throw a bunch of different looks at him, whether that be by disguising things pre-snap or using a variety of blitzes or by doubling Kelce at times. They just can't make it easy on this KC offense, and it actually does sound like Sean Desai may be preparing to make some big changes to the defense. As one thing the Eagles defense hasn't done really this year is run a lot of dime packages, even against 10 personnel, which is where the offense has 4 receivers on the field, and oftentimes that has resulted in the Eagles linebackers getting stuck on a wide receiver or just other mismatches in favor of the opposing offense. But now with everyone getting healthy on the back end, Sean Desai seems like he may be willing to make some changes.
I think a lot of it goes into that, and you know, some of it's kind of who our bodies are, who we're preparing for it, you know, moving around different people in the secondary and that linebacker, and so you know, we've got a plan, and you know, as we continue to build some continuity and get some pieces in certain spots that we want to keep developing, we'll continue to look at all the packages, including dime.
So from that, it sounds like we may potentially see some more dime in the future, which I personally like, not just because I think it'll help the defense in certain situations to have more defensive backs out on the field, again, as long as everyone's healthy, but I think it also just shows Sean Desai's willingness to adapt and make adjustments. I mean, even though he hasn't been perfect whatsoever, I do really still like what I've seen from Sean Desai as the defensive coordinator so far. And his efforts have earned him recognition from one of the greatest head coaches in NFL history, who the Birds also happen to be facing this week, and he also went on to praise the entire Eagles team, so we're going to get to that and a whole lot more in just a minute here. But real quick, I just want to take a minute to say, if you are enjoying this video or finding it informative in any way, and you're part of that 75% of the people that haven't done so already, make sure you go down right now, hit the subscribe button, and turn on post notifications so you see these updates when they go up right away. And also, while you're at it, just hit the like button. I'd greatly appreciate it. And now with that being said, let's get back into the video. So ahead of the Monday night matchup, Chiefs coach Andy Reid had a lot of praise for the Eagles, including for their defensive coordinator Sean Desai, as he said, quote, "Sean's brilliant, first of all. He's really a good football coach. They lost a good football coach and they gained one here. The defense is in good hands. They're very disciplined. They're aggressive." Now, first off, let's just ignore the fact that Reid referred to Jonathan Gannon as a good football coach.
"You are a waste of life and you should give up," is what I want to say, but I won't.
Okay, that may be a little harsh, but going back to Reid's comments, it's nice to see Desai earning respect from a legend like Reid, who also went on to praise so much more about the Eagles team, including, of course, the guys that he used to coach in Fletch, BG, and Kelce, saying, quote, "I love those guys. They're good guys. Those are good guys, good human beings."
I love my guys. I love my little dudes.
They my little guys. I love them.
And he also said how it's amazing that those guys are still as good as they are, and he joked that Fletch specifically doesn't seem to get old, saying, quote, "Number 91 doesn't seem to be getting old. I don't know what y'all are feeding him." To which Fletch replied,
People.
Alright, in all seriousness, it's cool to see Reid showing love to his former players, and it's also just cool how much respect he showed to this Eagles team as a whole. And perhaps the guy he gave the most amount of praise to was none other than quarterback Jalen Hurts. I mean, we know that Reid knows great QBs, and it seems like he believes Jalen is one of them, as he said, quote, "I'm a big fan of Hurts. He's really a good football player. He can run the ball, he can throw the ball, he's a smart kid. He seems to be a great teammate, always seems to be under control." I don't know, I think it's awesome to hear one of the NFL's all-time great coaches praise Hurts like that, and it's also awesome to hear what Jalen Hurts said on Thursday, as he gave a massive update on his knee injury after the bye week, and it should get fans really excited.
From a health perspective, did you get out of it what you wanted?
Yeah, definitely got some time out of it, and that was the one thing that I kept saying.
Hey, Jalen, at practice today, it looked like you weren't wearing that sleeve on your leg. Is that right?
I was not.
Is that a sign of progress?
Yeah, I think time is a sign of progress. As I said, the bye week came at a great time, and we all took advantage of that. I tried to take advantage of that time off, and everything is trending forward.
So it certainly sounds like Jalen Hurts' knee is in a much better spot than it was just a couple weeks ago, and that knee brace coming off is definitely a really promising sign. So with Jalen getting better and better as the season has gone on in terms of his on-the-field play, even while dealing with the injury, I cannot wait to see what he looks like now that he seems to be about as close to fully healthy as he can possibly be coming out of the bye week. Although, we do know he has a tough test ahead with this Kansas City team, specifically the defense, which has played extremely well this year. So Hurts spoke about the Chiefs and what makes them such a big test.
They're a really good team. They're a really good team. A team like that doesn't have the success they have out of any light. They have great players on the D-line. They have great players on the back end. They make plays on the ball, and they're very disruptive. Obviously coach really well. So, all three phases, we have to be ready to execute and play our best versus a really good team.
I mean, there's no doubt that this is going to be a huge challenge for the Eagles, but the same goes for the Chiefs, because the Eagles are a great team too. I mean, I honestly think that this could be the game of the year so far. This is a matchup of possibly the two best teams in football, with the top two MVP candidates and the two winningest coaches since 2021, and just so much more. I mean, I honestly can't wait. So how are you guys feeling at this point in the week? Are you confident in the Eagles' chances, or are you a little worried? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And also, make sure you go down right now, again, subscribe and turn on notifications if you did enjoy this video and want to see others like it coming in the future. Also, go right now, drop a like down on this video if you did enjoy it. That would be greatly appreciated. And also, if you want to watch another video going over Nick Sirianni's response to Jordan Mailata's comments earlier in the week saying that this matchup with Kansas City is personal for him, and just a whole bunch of other news from earlier in the week, you can go check this out right here. Now, with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.